Thanks for tuning into the Carry Handle podcast. Here's your host, Bryce and Kevin.
Welcome back to the Carry Handle podcast. I forgot that intro is a little longer than the porn intro. With my co-host, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I thought we weren't doing that kind of stuff anymore.
What kind of stuff?
I can't say it live.
What are the implications when you say shit like that? I'm a little concerned.
I don't know. But okay. I did shoot at the range today, and you know what I thought in my head?
Did you think that we should thank the friends of the channel?
No, I didn't. But you can.
Real quick, I will do the thing. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife Hannah for putting this together and putting up with our shenanigans. I'd also, by the way, these are 10% off discount codes. We don't get kickbacks from any of the people that I mentioned, but they're friends of the channel and we're really big fans. First and foremost, Hammy 3D prints thousands of products for firearm storage and other fun stuff like CMMG 22 conversion bolts, mag wells, kill flashes, whatever you can think. Hammy's probably got something for it. So the 10% off is Carry Handle 10 or whatever permutation you can imagine up, because there was a point in time where I didn't have a read. Now I do, so I'm feeling professional. Next up, we got 19 Charlie Tactical. Mike over there is a wizard, but with the gunsmithing. Gunsmithing Kydex holsters, thousands of dropship gun parts, accessories, tools, and firearms. If it's an HK, if it's an AK, he can build it for you. He can unfuck your proverbial Cheerios. And then 10% off is the Carry Handle 10, once again, for 10% off. Last but certainly not least, Eastern Shore Sling Company, handmade rifle slings, and custom sewing. Sorry, I had to zoom in. Dog leashes too. Maryland company. Kevin and I love the Roadie brushstroke 511 loop slings. Big fans. Maryland boys, go help them out. And that is Carry Handle, 10% off. So we have a guest to the show, Joe from SOS. Thank you for coming on, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, for the people, just give us your introduction and the introduction of your company, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm the president of Science of Suppression. We are based out of Gilbert, Arizona. My partners and I have been, working on this project for a long time now. Kind of just happened to be at a really good time when the suppressor market is more popular than ever. So I've been doing stuff in the firearms game for a long time. It was, originally all kinds of outdoor goods. Then it was specific to ammo. And I also do some competition shooting. I'm actually shoot for Team Atlas Gunworks. So if you haven't checked out the new V3 models, you're missing out. That's my one ad for this episode. But yeah, so my partners and I have been working on Science of Suppression for a long time now. And it actually is funny because the product that we have right now that we're currently bringing to market is so far from what we originally were going to do. I feel like 3-4 years ago, it was kind of the era of these expensive, high-end Inconel 3D printed suppressors with flow-through tech and ultra-low back pressure. And so we set out to design our own, which was pretty revolutionary and still will bring that to the market eventually, just because of how unique and how well it performs. But when we started talking to people in the industry, some of the big names out there, they were like, hey, this is great. This product's phenomenal. But you know what I really need is I need a ultra high performing suppressor at a price point that everyone can afford. And so out of that thinking and out of those conversations came Science of Suppression. And so Science of Suppression is not just a fun name or for a fun acronym. Science is really behind everything we do at SOS. So our existing 6 models are all made out of 17.4 hardened stainless steel. For folks that don't know, there are really three primary materials that suppressors are made out of. You have Inconel, which is going to be your most expensive. It's also going to be, I can safely say, the most durable and most highest performing material when it comes to tolerance for extreme heats. But like I already talked about, the downside is it is very, very expensive. It's also the heaviest. You have titanium, which is going to be the most lightweight, but it really performs poorly in the suppression game, meaning signature reduction is not really a thing with titanium. It's kind of a glorified flash hider, especially under night vision or in any dark setting. Titanium is naturally going to spark a lot. Then you have 17.4 hardened stainless, which is what we're making all of our existing lineup out of. 17.4 is very durable, like Inconel. It's not as lightweight as titanium, but it definitely is more lightweight than Inconel. And you get the great features of it being it's great at suppressing. So very, very low sparks, very good at slowing down that gas, and being relatively heat resistant. It's also very affordable. So we targeted that market and saw such an opportunity to dive in using these materials that everyone could afford. And so our slogan, a working can for the working man, really came to life. And SOS is based upon the idea of performing very high performing suppressors at a price point that every single person can afford.
Well, that's a pretty commendable model. I think people like to hear about.
Yeah, we really believe in the whole idea and the trajectory that we're taking. I mean, all of our cans are really plain Jane when it comes to the design. Nothing, crazy or no really articulate designs or anything behind them. But really, the meat and potatoes is what people can't see. And that's the interior structure. So a couple unique features about every Science of Suppression unit. We use hydrodynamics to come up with a unique and high-performing baffle design. That's basically the science of shooting water through, in this case, a suppressor, and seeing how well it can slow down that water at high pressures. Well, that's no different than what a suppressor is doing with the gas of the firearm. That's all a suppressor is doing, is how well can it slow down that gas, because the slower you can get that gas, the quieter it's going to be, and the less signature is going to be coming out of the muzzle, either in gaseous form or muzzle flash. So we utilize that, and a test that I'll do if I'm outside at a range day with somebody is I'll take our can and I'll take a competitor's can and I'll dump water down both of them. And almost immediately you'll start to see water flowing through the other guy's can. I'm not going to name names of companies, but take your favorite can out there and it's going to start flowing down really quickly. Then the SOS can, you're sitting there waiting like, where's the water? And then ever so slightly, you're going to see that water start to just trickle out really, really slowly out of that SOS can. And what it's doing with that water flowing through it is no different than the gases. It's simply slowing it down as it makes its way through the baffles. And that's how we get a can that is extremely quiet.
Okay, so yours then would not be labeled as low back pressure, I would imagine.
100%. So ours utilizes a traditional baffle design. So with the traditional baffle design, you're going to be able to achieve the quietest cans as well as the least amount of signature. Now, the downside of that is a little more gas in the face, right? It's not going to be a flow-through can. However, our cans, because of how well they're tuned, even without an adjustable gas system, are far and beyond less gassy in the face of the shooter as, I don't want to name names, but name your traditional SOCOM adapted suppressor company.
But
right?
of course.
Way less. You can shoot this on your Mark 18 without, crying after about 3 rounds. So pretty low back pressure compared to the competition.
So I know there's been some level of debate on where things are measured with cans. What kind of standards do you guys use to test and then also measure sound signature at the shooter's ear and at the muzzle?
Yeah, great question. So there are standardized tests that pretty much the entire firearms community, I would say, agrees upon, and that is kind of like you already talked about. One test at shooter's ear, and one test at, I guess, what you could call someone on the firing lines perspective, X amount of distance away. We ran a lot of tests with the intention of publishing our results and sharing them, while also comparing them to the competition. Uh, our results were extremely impressive, especially in decimal reduction. So,
Hmm.
take the median standard with a unsuppressed rifle, take that same rifle, add said SOS can, and the results were extremely impressive. However, one of the other things that our testing did show is we ran some of our competitors' cans using the same exact formula that they were claiming to use, and our results were vastly different from theirs. Meaning, there are companies out there who are fabricating their decimal reduction, and unless someone comes out and let me just say that's not going to be us. That's not our game is to
Uh,
come shit on a competitor, but unless someone comes out and does the same test using their same formula they're claiming, they're just going to keep doing it. And these are major brands out there who are fabricating their decimal reduction. And it's really a problem because I don't know about you guys, but I happen to know people who buy a suppressor because they think that it's the next thing that they absolutely have to have, which in fairness it is, but then are so find it so lackluster when they actually get it, spend $1,000 on their suppressor, $1,500, $2,000 on the high end, maybe even another $400 plus just to equip their rifle or whatever weapon it is to actually be able to mount that suppressor. And then they go, hey, why is this so loud? I thought that I was getting something, that was high performing. And so that's part of our belief in science of suppression. We are seeing so many new firearm owners get into the NFA and the suppressor game with the reduction going to the $0 tax stamp, which started on January 1st. We want them to be able to comfortably get into something in a price point. I mean, our 5.56K can starts at $519.99, and we've been told by a distributor that it's one of the quietest 5.56K cans. I'm not talking just in that price range, but period. So being able and offering somebody something at the $500-$600 price point, really without them breaking the bank, gives them the ability to get in with a very high performing can. And if shooting suppressed isn't for them, or maybe they don't like the way that it cycles with their rifle, or maybe they don't like that little bit of gas in their face, or maybe they find it is the best thing ever and they love the fact that it's going to increase accuracy, that it's going to save their ears in the long haul, and that it's going to reduce their muzzle flip. Those are all reasons that we see people coming back to us. So we're very happy about where we've positioned ourselves in the market, and we're just going to keep pushing forward.
Interesting. Oh, Brace, you're muted. Brace, you're muted.
I was muted. My bad. So really quick question. So performance can mean different things to different people. What are your priorities with your cans in terms of what you're going out to solve? Like what are
Yeah,
your
great question.
measures of performance?
Mm.
Sure. I'll say two main things: signature reduction and sound reduction. So, signature being, I guess you could group sound reduction in there, but signature being anything, visible
Mhm.
with either the naked eye or something like night vision, IR. And then sound reduction too, just the reduction of sound, but not just the reduction of sound, but the perfection of tone. That's something that no one talks
Mm.
about, right? Toning a can and the tone that it puts out can sometimes even be more like important than the amount of decimals that it reduces. So having what we call the whisper versus the crack is so important to us. And we really see that when we do a range day with other suppressor manufacturers and we're positioned on either side of them or whatnot. Hearing the tone difference in our cans of the same caliber is really like a night and day difference.
Interesting. Now, another quick question. So, in terms of changing can to can, because you have a number of different models. Is it basically the same stack in all of them and then just scaled differently, or is the gas delivery and the science of the baffle geometry changing based on caliber?
Yeah, great question. So all of our cans are there, and this is when I talk about the science behind it, where there are companies who I can confidently say throw a stack of baffles together, do a cylinder weld on them, polish up the welds. Those are the cans that you can actually see the visible welds. You can see
Hmm.
because of the lines where they start and stop, and that's not us. If you see any SOS can, there's no visible welds because a visible weld is the weak point. Now, kind of to your question about the way we design it, no, it's not all. Hey, it's just a different caliber or a different caliber size hole and the same number of baffles. The number of baffles changes. It's a fine science, right? Because there is a point of diminishing returns, meaning there is a point where if you people think if you create a 3 foot long suppressor, oh, is it going to be movie quiet? The answer is no, because we've done crazy tests like that before, where we've made these ridiculous huge suppressors, both in diameter and length, and they're not any more quiet than say our standard can in that caliber. So that's a really interesting showing because it does show that there is a point where you've basically maxed out how much suppression you can get out with that caliber. And there is a point of diminishing returns. So all of our cans with each caliber rating are perfectly tuned with not just the baffle structure, but even something as so complex as the space between each baffle. And we have gone through so many renditions of our baffle design to get to this point. But these are just not, even in testing with other companies, because we have done joint testing with other manufacturers, and it's pretty evident that these are just things that they're not aware of how important it is to do these tests with all these different variables.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, in terms of the testing protocols, how long or what kind of durability testing have you done on your cans in terms
Oh
of
man,
like?
yeah,
I was
we
just
have
about to
done
ask that.
so the ultimate durability testing is two things. I would say it's pressure and endearment of fire. So as far as the pressure, our full penetration welds are so impressive that on our Nebula, which is our 36 cal can, for example, we have mag dumped 277 Fury, which is one of the highest pressure rounds. I think it's a 90 or 80,000 psi round. Absolutely mag dumped it through that guy to test the pressure rating for those welds, and it shows the exact same thing as our hydrodynamic testing does. Is that all of our welds are super super strong. Another thing I should note, and we are the only company that I'm aware of that does this. We X-ray our cans, and it would sicken you to know how much it costs us to do that. But we X-ray our cans to ensure that all the welds are absolutely perfect. Because that's the beautiful thing about an X-ray is that any imperfection, any small pocket of air would be visible on that. But the X-rays give us that peace of mind and are able to show the consumer like, hey, all of these are 100% perfect. And the other kind of testing that we do beyond that with the pressure and the X-rays and the well testing, is some of our burn down tests. And so we have, we have a true, not just a full auto rating, but a belt fed rating with all of our cans. I mean, we've got these guys glowing red, and we still have those cans. It's not like they're trash after that. So being able to withstand true full auto is really impressive because I'm not sure how much you guys have looked into it, but if you look into the definition of full auto rating and what it takes to claim that and make that claim of status, the actual terminology is rapid fire. Well, okay, what is rapid fire? Well, if you go down that rabbit hole and keep digging, what you basically find is in order to claim a full auto rating, you need to be able and rapid fire I believe it's 90 rounds. Um, but rapid fire is not defined as full auto cycling of the weapon system. It simply means pulling the trigger fast. So what a lot of other companies are claiming, my can is rated for 90 rounds of pulling the trigger fast. And so if you were to do the same testing that we put our cans through, they would fail because we have done those tests and seen that with their welds.
Interesting. So now, in terms of sound degradation, what kind of intervals are you seeing like less of decibels or inverse of that, I suppose, for like carbon deposits and things like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So by nature, with our cans, you kind of started touching on it with the carbon deposits. As our cans get dirty, and it's not just traditional baffle stack cans, it's also flow through cans as well. They get dirty too, just maybe at a slower rate. You are going to get a little more signature coming out the muzzle, and what that is the carbon or gunpowder or whatever it is just simply breaking off, and some of it may even ignite very slightly, just like a muzzle flash. Now we have not seen any change in decimal reduction when a can is being used or has been used for like long periods of time, but you will start to see a little bit more signature coming out.
Oh, okay.
And then the answer to that is simply clean it. There's a lot of companies on the market now that make phenomenal products to really just drop a can into solution and let it soak overnight or whatever it may be.
Okay, and that would have been my next question: is recommended maintenance?
Right, and that's exactly what we recommend is just dropping it in, maybe scrubbing it in the portions that you can get to, but being able to just dunk it in solution is going to be the most optimal way.
How many rounds in between cleanings would you recommend?
Yeah, that's a really great question. At the end of the day, there's no set amount, right? Because it's not just going to be part of it is the ammo, right? If you're shooting Winchester white box, which is some of the dirtiest ammo out there,
it is.
Powder.
You're gonna probably clean it more than shooting PMC Bronze 223 because PMC is about as clean as they come. I've sold I don't even know how many millions of rounds, so I have seen everything from like the dirtiest ammo to about the cleanest. And so there's part of that, but I would say like a good rule of thumb is if you really start to see some heavy buildup to maybe where it's protruding a little bit from the baffle stack, or you are seeing increased signature out the muzzle, then maybe go ahead and soak it. But I would say maybe 5,000 rounds is a good round number to consider.
That's pretty good. That's typical maintenance cycle.
Pretty all right. All right. Well, that's good. Well, so as somebody that's obviously been doing this for just a little bit in this industry, what would you advise people in terms of looking into suppressors? What should they get first? Because I mean, there's so many options for what people would use, and then I mean, what do you see being the most logical first step for somebody trying to get into it?
Sure. So, as part of our structure with our pricing, we believe that you should not be forced to pick one suppressor and have to interchange it between all your weapons. With our pricing structure, for the price of 2 or 3 of our cans, you might be just at 1 can of our competitors. So for the price of one $1,500 can, $2,000 can, you can get 2-3 SOS cans. And so the ability to have designated cans for each weapon system is kind of what we believe in. And part of the reason why is if you have a 30 cal can on a 223 5.56 rifle, by nature it's not going to be as quiet as that same can, but with the 5.56 end cap. So being able to have the proper caliber rating is you're going to see the best results out of that. So I would say the very first step in getting a suppressor is take the gun that you want to see the best performance from, especially if you have a gun that is going to perform well suppressed, like a 300 blackout, like a 22, like a 5.7. Take that weapon system, outfit it with a suppressor that's properly associated with that caliber rating, and find out for yourself if you like it. I'm willing to say most people will. If people can get over, the little added weight, maybe the little bit of gassiness, the benefits of a suppressor so far outweigh the potential downsides to it. And in fact, if anything, preserve your hearing. I mean, most people don't know this, but in Europe, suppressors are, you can buy them as easily as you buy an optic out here. No ID, no background check required. And why? Because it's a courtesy to yourself and to others, right? Who wants to be shooting in a range? I mean, we own a range. Who wants to be shooting in said range with someone with a muzzle brake and an FRT? I can tell you from experience, it is miserable. You want to pack up and leave. And so it is a courtesy in other countries, and why here in the US people think it is some sort of machine of death is really beyond me.
Yeah. Especially for, I mean, hell, going on YouTube, they don't sound like they're movie quiet. It's amazing that
physics.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It seems like with this day and age, you'd think more people would be educated, but it's a little disheartening sometimes.
Yeah, I want to get one for my home defense rifle, just so I can talk to the law enforcement when they come.
Yeah.
Not having
shoot a gun between your hallway unsuppressed and talk about hearing damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've had patients at the hospital where I'm like quite literally yelling into your ear. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Never mind."
I already have tinnitus. It just seems like that would just be the worst way to add to that. Oh man. So in terms of, obviously you guys have a 45, 7.62, 5.56. I also see, so your 5.56 cans are bored to accept 6 mil cartridges as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that they're not only can handle the diameter for like 6 arc, but also the pressure of it too. So yeah, I mean those calibers like 6 arc are getting so popular, and that's why we really stand behind it. I mean, it's all part of our warranty, is that if it fits the diameter of the end cap, you can shoot it. And if something comes along, and it won't, but if something comes along and proves us wrong, like, oh, you're not rated for this, we'll own up to it. But I mean, that you bring up a great point, because with something like that, it might just be so popular that people think, oh, I can shoot 6 arc through my 5.56 can. Well, there are a lot of manufacturers who don't rate their 5.56 cans for 6 arc. So
yeah, that was surprising.
Your homework. Yeah, do your homework, because we have a full 100% lifetime manufacturer warranty, not just for the first buyer, but because now we are going to start to see some private party transfers go down. But so not just for the first buyer, but for the second, third, fourth, whatever it may be, it is very important that with some of those companies that might not warranty that, to know what they're actually covering. Because otherwise you might be stuck with a $1,500 paperweight.
Yeah, for sure. Now, in terms of 6 arc performance out of a 5.56, do you not find it necessary to make a 6 arc specific can? Because I know other manufacturers do that.
Sure. I'll be transparent. I feel like that's a money grab, right?
Okay.
If the can is capable of handling 6 arc, I would venture to ask why a separate designated can, right? That would be like me saying, no, I need to make an 8.6 blackout can rather than just push somebody towards my nebula. It's like,
right.
Well, what benefits are you getting? Are you just defining the diameter of the end cap ever so slightly? But now you're really pinching pennies. And so There might be a couple reasons why someone makes a designated 6 art can. Might just be for the sales, and you know what? Okay, all power to them. I'll let the free market and let the consumer decide that for themselves. But
Yeah.
also, are you making a designated 6 art can because you know your standard 556 can cannot withstand that pressure? So you need to engineer
Uh,
something that is higher quality because you can't market your 556 can for this.
right.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense. So your 46 and your 36 cans, those are also rated for like straight wall or like magnums and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely.
Like lever
Hmm.
guns. Okay.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. 4570 subsonic is probably my favorite round to shoot because I'll take someone out on the range and let them shoot it unsuppressed, and then I'll throw one of
Yeah.
our cans on, and that is not just a reduction of sound, but just the concussion that it contains
Well,
is
yeah.
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I have a 4570. I shoot it sparingly.
Yeah.
it's, it's an event for sure. That's interesting. So, in terms of performance from long to short variants, because you obviously have both L's and K's, what kind of performance difference in the same caliber are you seeing between the L and the K, or is it more just people want something a little lighter?
Great question. Minimal. Some people might, and this goes back to the science behind it. Is that if you construct something well and engineer the tweak everything like the length between the baffles, the way that the clippings of the baffles are oriented and designed, we are seeing obviously the L variants are a little bit more suppressive and a little bit quieter, but it's so minute that you actually need to put it on the decimal reader to hear it sometimes. So under, all the scientific conditions, it is very apparent, but to yours and I's ears, we fine-tuned even those K variants so well that my 9 ounce 4 baffle Einstein K sounds almost just as quiet as its L counterpart.
Interesting.
Okay.
Hmm. Not a lot of motivation to get the full size one.
Not much.
Yeah.
No,
Kind of
that's why
interesting.
I
I was gonna
always
say,
point people towards the K.
I think the K is
Huh.
probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, you're getting a little more accuracy out of the L. I mean, because it's no different than extending your barrel length. So we see it a lot with the precision, the match shooters, the
Mm.
hunters want the L, especially if they know they're using a bipod or maybe they're not too concerned about weight. But if you're purely talking about performance in say a real world or tactical setting, I think K cans are the way to go.
hmm. Yeah, less weight hanging off the front of your gun, the better for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Well, so in terms of tuning for ARs, I mean, how much quicker is that case coming out? I mean, is it overgassing it to the point where you would recommend start changing your buffer weights
Mm.
like on a Mark 18 or a shorter gun?
hmm Yeah, so once again, with all of our cans, they are relatively low back pressure for traditional baffle set cans.
Okay.
So I strategically utilize for all of our sample guns. I don't
Hmm.
use guns primarily with these, either fancy ported charging handles. None of the guns have adjustable gas settings. I use plain Jane, run of the mill guns that you could go buy from Bass Pro Shops, your local gun shop, whatever it may be, and direct thread that SOS can on so that the consumer isn't getting gypped by this perfectly tuned, adjustable gas, lightweight, BCG ported charging handle AR. They're
Right.
using exactly what they would be able and go and most likely have in their own safe. So
Okay.
that is a problem with some of the other non-flow non-adjustable traditional baffle stack cans like ours. We don't have a problem with it, but if you were to go put one of our competitors' cans on a rifle, I mean you 100% will be getting overgassed. So
Hmm.
not only now do you have to pay for the cost of the suppressor, but you have to go buy, like you mentioned, change your buffer weight, change your charging handle, get a ported charging handle, maybe even change your BCG. And then even then it might still be overgassed. And then at that point you have to go, okay, am I going to adjustable gas? that might be the point where someone just gets turned off from shooting suppressed, is they go, man, I spent how much money on this setup, and I don't even like it. It's not even enjoyable to shoot. So no, those are real-time conversations, that I've had with people about, I just don't shoot suppressed anymore because I didn't enjoy shooting it.
Well, yeah, you gotta want to pull the trigger.
Exactly.
It's not very fun otherwise.
Pretty much.
Interesting. So, in terms of your finish, because you guys are using high temp Cerakote on your cans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now what was price more driving factor behind that finish, or is it just genuinely okay?
Yeah, great question. So, virtually most Cerakotes are going to be high temp. So in our FDE models, the color code is actually Magpul FDE C series. So that's just your traditional C series Cerakote. There's really no insane high temp qualities about it, and that's going to be the C series Cerakote is going to be on probably 99% of the cans that you see, in on the shelves. Our black is a little bit different. For black, we actually use a V series Cerakote, meaning there's more baking involved for it. We don't even really advertise this feature very much. We just kind of let it be a quiet benefit of the black variants, because that V series Cerakote is an actual high temp Cerakote. And the reason we don't use it for both the black and the FDE is that right now Cerakote doesn't offer any good FDE colorway in the V series. They're all they're not true FDEs, and so in part people don't really like them. So if you buy a black SOS can, you're getting the V series Cerakote.
Okay,
Interesting.
Kind of interesting. I didn't realize there were so many different guys of Cerakote.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
many.
cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, in terms of mounting solutions, are you guys like Type A, Type B, or do you guys or direct thread? What kind of mount do you guys have?
Yeah.
Yep. So all of our cans are going to ship with a direct thread device.
Okay.
So the 5.56 cans and 36 cal are going to ship with a 1/2, because that's the standard for both 5.56 and 9 mil. The 30 cal / 7.62 cans and the 46 cal are going to ship with 5/8, because that's the standard, mounting thread pitch for those ones. Once again, it's not universal across the board, but that's primarily what you're going to be using it for. And so in turn, we're going to send you the direct thread device for, the most common mounting thread pitch. Now, with that being said, all of our cans are universal hub compatible. So you can unscrew that and you have universal hub. And so if you're a suppressor manufacturer in 2026 and you're not universal hub compatible, what are you doing? I mean
Yeah.
that is the direction the industry is going. All of our blast chambers are super deep. So I have one of our cans on a gun that since I've had it has had a Surefire war comp on it, and I didn't want to take that off because it's pin and welded. And so all I have to do is get the Surefire universal hub adapter, throw it on the SOS can, and now I can rock and roll with that gun, just like I would an RC2. So the fact that we are universal hub compatible, I think everyone should be, but there are some big companies that are still proprietary. So
Yeah.
we're universal hub compatible, meaning you can take your favorite muzzle device or your favorite mounting solution, like a Rearden, for example, and plug and play.
Okay. Now, as a company, in terms of testing, do you guys test primarily with direct thread then?
We test both. Really.
Oh,
both.
okay. So
yeah.
Interesting. So what kind of performance difference are you seeing from direct thread to using a muzzle device like a war comp or like a muzzle brake or something like that?
It's so minimal.
Yeah.
And once again, this goes back to being scientific about it. So on the imperative scientific tests with the decimal reader, direct thread is generally louder than having something like a flash hider, then that
Really?
mounts underneath the suppressor. And once again, if I had to look at that and say, why is that? Well, you have some of that blast dissipating in the blast chamber more so than just direct thread, where it has an unrestricted path through to the end cap. So once again, it's so minute, to the point where you and I would likely not be able to hear a difference with our ears.
Are you seeing benefits with muzzle brakes acting as like a sacrificial chamber, or is that maybe overstated?
When I first started shooting suppressed, I thought that was going to be the cheat code. I mean, coming from a competition background, I was looking for any way to game the system. And so I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if I have a muzzle brake inside of my suppressor, it's going to be as flat as they come. The cheat code. It's no flatter than having a muzzle brake. I mean, there's a little added extra weight, but that's about it. So it still keeps it incredibly flat. And so I would say that if someone,
I'm sorry, I meant in terms of like erosion from the primary blast baffle. I'm sorry, I
no, that's okay.
Misstated.
Yes and no. So
Okay.
really the only difference is you're gonna have buildup maybe in a pattern.
Okay.
But I don't see that. And once again, this is coming from rifles that we've seen with every different type of configuration. It's not going to prolong, the necessity to clean or anything like that. It's just going to pattern it differently.
Okay.
If I had to,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So do you guys have a preference in terms of internally when you guys are testing or seeing better performance with certain QD mounts? I mean, other than having a war comp that's pinned and welded, which I also wouldn't want to unpin. Are you
Yeah, great
seeing
question.
benefits to different kinds or?
Yeah, I mean, so benefits to certain kinds. Obviously, direct thread is going to be the cheapest,
Okay.
and that's a huge benefit in and of itself. Is that
That's fair.
most rifles, minus the pin and weld ones, it's plug and play. You just thread it right on, and you're ready to roll. Now, if I had to pick like a favorite mounting solution, I mean, I have friends that work for basically every company, so I don't want to come out and say one is superior to another.
Fair enough.
But personal thoughts and biases aside, anything that allows you to universal hub that over an existing muzzle device is really cool, because then
Okay.
if you ever get to the point where you're like, hey, I want to let my girlfriend or something or somebody shoot this, and I know the gas is going to annoy her maybe, then you can take it off, and
Yeah.
you still have a fully working rifle, and not one just with exposed threads or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any plans for like a 50 cal or like a larger like machine gun suppressor? Is it
Yeah.
going to be primarily like the up to like 46?
100%. So it's funny you say that. We actually just about a month ago had a video drop with administrative results on YouTube, and that video was centered around the Big Chungus. And the Big Chungus,
I was going to ask you about that.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
the
so-
Chungus.
the Big Chungus was based off, I think it was like a Rhodesian suppressor that was on their AKs, and admin came to us and was like, "Hey, I want to do a video on this," and no one else would make it for him, and we're like, "We'll make it." Like, heck yeah, this sounds like a fun project. So we made the Big Chungus, and we made it in both a 36 cal variant and a 50 cal variant, and we have had so many vote. We actually have a poll up on our website where you can like vote if we should release it, and almost universally everyone wants us to drop it, and I have dealers who want to stock it and carry it. So we will be coming to the market with the Big Chungus. Now, will that be our very first 50 cal? I'm not going to say. We might have something in the works that might come out before that, but inevitably, when we drop the Big Chungus for sale, because it will be for sale, it will be offered in 50 cal.
That's pretty cool.
That's sick.
The 50 Beowulf shooters will also be happy, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can hear him clapping right now.
From their mom's basement. So now, do you guys have any or is there any consideration for more of a PRS or precision focused bolt or like suppressor in terms of having removable end caps or anything like that?
Not really. If someone is focus to that precision, I would just direct them to one of our L variants. But
Fair. Okay.
the removable end caps. Anytime you get into, and I can say this confidently because we've messed with stuff like this. Anytime you get into removable or addable features, you add a weak point, and so with us making such a push for our high pressure capabilities,
Yeah.
we would have to make a disclaimer for anything that has removable or addable features.
Right.
That's
Well,
fair.
so now, well, I guess so. In terms of warranties, you just send the suppressor in, and then it gets record effectively, or is it?
Yeah,
Is it
so every warranty is going to be different.
okay?
Our warranty is a full lifetime manufacturer warranty, meaning if there is something from us, we will own up to it and cover it 100% responsible. Now, we also have a stupidity clause in our warranty that basically states if there's anything that's done to the can that is on you or under your purview, like you took your buddy out shooting and he sends around a 300 blackout through your 5.56 can, we will cover that and replace that, and you just simply pay our cost on it. So whatever our cost to fix that is, you don't have to buy a brand new can. It's just our cost to fix that issue. So we cover 100% of the stuff that we are liable for, and I can proudly say we have not had a single warranty claim to date. And if it is something that falls under our stupidity clause, where it falls out of your truck and you get an ugly scratch you don't like, or your buddy sends 300 blackout through it, then once again, you're not SOL. You're just gonna pay our cost to replace it.
Well, the buddy's going to pay the cost.
I was going to say
yeah.
the buddy should
Yeah,
probably
well.
be doing that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like the model of the company. It seems like durable cans for not an inordinate amount of money.
For the everyday man. And
A working can for the working man. And I will say this: we've already seen a very large company, I won't say who it is, reuse our slogan just with slightly different words. It's incredible, and we've had this slogan longer than anybody. But we just saw them drop their line of affordable cans, and literally the slogan is something to the degree of a can for every man. Keep in mind, ours has always been a working can for the working man, and we're like, unbelievable. But you know what? Sometimes imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so we'll take it.
That's a very, very stoic way of looking at it. I like that.
absolutely.
It's very good. Well, so in terms of now, obviously you see these cans every day. What's one that you like? I mean, which one do you have the most experience with, like personal rounds out of personal guns, not work guns? Like what is your, I guess, your everyday if you're picking up a rifle?
Personal can.
What can does it have?
I'll answer this in two parts. So the can
Perfect.
that I probably have the most trigger time behind is going to be our Einstein K.
Okay.
I'm a big rifle shooter. I've competed against and beat former SWAT, PD, military, all the guys in. And I'm not a veteran, but I shot and beat guys who did it for a living. And I'm just your average Joe, getting out here having fun, LARPing when I want to. And so I've sent the most rounds through our Einstein K, and so I've seen firsthand how accurate it is, at extreme distances, even for the small can that it is. I've seen how well it performs on my 11-inch barrel, with really, really impressive results, with anywhere from 55 grain to 77 grain black kills at distance. So that's the can that I have the most trigger time behind, and kind of my go-to. But probably my favorite can to shoot is going to be our Nebula 36. And the reason why is that there's something about that can with 9mm. We have it tuned so perfectly, and that can is so perfectly designed that when I talk about movie quiet, it's damn near movie quiet with subsonic 9mm. I mean, that is a can where the results are just insane, especially when you factor in that retail on that can is $589.99, $590, and the closest 9mm can for PCCs and subguns to that is in the $700-800 range, and it sounds like crap compared to our Nebula. So that is a can where I will really say we've set ourselves apart, is in the 9 mil game, because no one is getting those results out of their 9 millimeter can like we are, and I can confidently say that. And then when you add in the price and all the features and the ability to also use that as a multi-cal can with really high pressure rounds, there's just nothing that can touch it.
Yeah, I was seeing that you guys
Yeah.
it's rated for 5.56 as well, which is it's pretty cool.
Ooh, interesting. I like it.
Interesting. I like the flexibility there. Well, so are you guys direct to consider? No, you said you had dealers. Where can people pick your cans up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So scienceofsuppression.com is our website. You can order directly on there. We have all of the software where you can basically pull up your FFL and SOT directly from our website, so you can ship it there. But we also have a lot of dealers. So a lot of your local gun shops are currently stocking SOS cans, which is awesome. We love working with those guys. And if you are a dealer or own a gun shop or work at a gun shop and you're listening, holler at us at sciencesuppression.com, just on our little info page, because we love supporting dealers and we love collaborating with them, and we fully, even though we do sell them online, we fully support you guys and want to see these cans in more and more doors. So you'll have a really easy time selling them and make some killer margin too.
Well, I really like the cut of your jib, sir. I like the product line, and I definitely like what you guys seem to stand for. And I like that science is obviously a part of what you do. It might be in the name. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Might
pretty
be.
cool. The whole package is pretty cool. It's nice to see a company like so down to earth and for like, the everyday person, and not like geared towards like Mill or Leo, like most other can companies seem to be like Mill Leo driven. And then,
Which
civilian
just seems to drive the price up.
Yeah. Civilians want them? Sure. Yeah, we can sell them to civilians too. Why not?
We have a promise. We have a promise as a company, and this was a promise that I instilled as the president, that we'll never have a product that is law enforcement available but not civ available. So follow the model. If it is available for law enforcement, it has to be available to the civilian market and consumers, because we're not going to do that. We're not going to drop a product that's LEO only and then have them flash it and everyone want it. No, if it's available to them, it's going to be available to the public.
I also really like that. That's super cool. Well, so the only thing I would say is I would love to see you guys on at Suppress Fest. That's local Florida, one of the largest suppressed conventions in the U.S. I definitely think it'd be really good to be able to get your hand, or especially get the exposure over here, because I mean, we found you from Unlimited Ammo when we were visiting
just
S5.
Just a chance meeting, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it'd be I think it'd probably be good to have you guys out here too. Of course,
Yeah, if you guys have a contact, you'll have to put me in touch
I
with
actually
him,
do, and I will. I'll get you a hold of Adam for sure, and I know there's
Sounds
there's a
good.
local dealer near me as well that would probably be interested. So
Love hearing that.
yeah, so well, sir, thank you so much for taking the time and talking about what you guys got going on. Is there anything kind of in the works that you guys are looking? Obviously, your interesting 50 cal Big Chungus, or is it the regular cal?
Yep.
Incredible name, by the way.
Yep. A couple things to be on the lookout for. The test tube, which is our 22 can. That is
love
probably
that
the next
name.
can that's going to drop.
I
So the
love
test
that
tube, thank you.
name.
I came up with that myself. I am
That's
proud
great.
of that. So the test tube is going to be next. Be on the lookout for that. And the price point, just like our other cans, is going to blow everyone's mind, because they're going to be like, what? I can buy a can for how much? It's really going to reshape the way people think about buying suppressors. Think about that. A can that's less than what a $200 tax stamp used to be. It's going to be incredible.
Wow.
But anyway, I can't say too much. But then
Can't say more than that.
I
but
can't
that's
say
pretty
too much, but
compelling.
I might have some some hints that I can drop. And then the next thing
no.
beyond that is our venture into other materials. So like I said,
Okay.
right now we're using 17.4. But what happens when we go and take our technology, take our design into these ultra high end materials that are even more robust and even more heat durable. So some exciting things coming down the pipeline.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
we'll definitely keep an eye on what you guys have cooking. It seems very interesting.
Indeed.
So,
Yes, sir, it is.
well, thank you once again, sir, for coming on. And honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Of course, yeah. Same goes for you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the last thing we are going to say is thank you to Joe, and then also we would like to thank the listeners. We would be not here without you. Wouldn't be able to get to do what we do. Really appreciate you. Best thing you guys can do for the show is drop a review and
Comment.
a like, comment as well. YouTube, all the places, iTunes and Spotify. Once again, thank you so much for coming on, Joe. Once again, thank you
Yes.
for taking the time. And I'm
Love it.
gonna roll the outro.
Roll the outro. Roll the outro.
Hey,
Roll
you
the-
made it to the end of the video. Very cool. You should like and subscribe.
On Facebook and Instagram.
And Twitter and Spotify. You should listen there too. If you
Well,
if you
aren't they
heard this on
listening to
Spotify.
this on Spotify right now?
Well, they could be, but there's also YouTube podcasts, so all of the places.
We always forget where we post this stuff.
We don't know where this is. Thank you for listening wherever you're listening to, but you should also like the other places that we are. And
Who
then
are we and what the hell are we doing here?
yeah, I don't know how we got here. So thank you for letting us talk directly into your ear holes.
Ah, right to the brain.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Adios.